Coming live from the HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSC Hawaii, on the Hawaii Pacific University campus at Aloha Tower Marketplace, here's your host, Hawaii Pacific University's Vice President and Chief Marketing Communications Officer, Jeffrey Rich.
Aloha, Sharks Nation, and welcome back to Sharks Weekly, your inside look at Hawaii Pacific University athletics right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. We are broadcasting live from the Hawaii Pacific University's Esports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii. And today we're talking with the HPU Cheer team. We've got head coach James Burns with us. James is a proud alumni of Hawaii Pacific University, where he's shown off his talents in tumbling and fan engagement as a former captain of the HPU Cheer team. Shortly after graduating, James was made assistant coach of the cheer team under Coach Ryan Johnson, where James helped lead the Sharks to a return to former glory as one of the team's most elite teams in the country. In 2023, James took over the team as head coach and has been creating a culture of excellence ever since. Coach Burns, I want to welcome you back to the show. We're excited to talk with you today.
Thank you. Excited to be here today. Thank you for having us on.
And joining you today, you've got two amazing student athletes, Morgan Brennan and Kaylee Tabangay. Morgan joined the Sharks in 2022 and has been a bedrock of support for the teams both on and off the court. As a base, she's been lifting her teams in competition and spirits literally and figuratively since her arrival. In high school, Kaylee earned numerous titles, including being named ILH Cheerleader of the Year, the first in Damien Memorial's history. As a Shark, she's helped the Sharks bring home a national championship along with Morgan. And I want to welcome you to the show. Maybe say hello here.
Hi, thank you for having us. We're super excited to be here.
Hi, yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to have you guys back on the show. We've got returning contestants here, all three of you. So let's jump into some conversation here, and I want to start with you, Coach Burns. I want to get the coach's perspective on a few things. So first of all, you were a student athlete during your time at HPU. How does it feel to coach the same team that you were once a part of?
It feels pretty special. We were pretty small back when I was competing on the team, so to see the program grow and consistently compete on the other side of the world now. We did USA Nationals when I was cheering, and now we're moving back to NCAA Daytona, so it's pretty special. This is a great group of athletes, and it reminds me a lot of the team that I was on as well. I see a lot of kind of the same key characters that helped build it back then are kind of still moving through the program now, so it feels pretty great.
I imagine it's challenging. As a student athlete, there were probably good things and bad things that you picked up as a student athlete, and I imagine you want to carry the good things forward and maybe jettison the bad things. But is there a tendency as a former student athlete at the same school that you're now coaching, to want to carry the culture forward? So when you first started in the role as head coach, did you just try and sort of move the program based on the things that you had known and understood and learned as a student athlete? Or did you just say, you know what, I've got my own philosophy, my own methodology. I'm going to take what I learned from that experience, but I'm going to craft and mold my own program?
I think a bit of both. I like to keep tradition. Definitely wanted to come here and learn how things were going. And, we have our team breaks. We have kind of our tradition of how we start practices. So kind of a little bit when I cheered at my previous institution. I think it worked for what we've done here, and it kind of matches and kind of aligns HPU and where I cheered were super great schools back in the day. So I think that when I came here, I was kind of already on board with how things happened and the expectation of excellence that HPU has. So yeah, I'd say a bit of both.
Yeah, I imagine that's a good place to start, where you've got a good program, strong culture of excellence, but just building on that and taking it to another level is clearly what you've done during your tenure here. How did it feel competing at the Nationals? Were you nervous for your team? I know the expectations were extremely high for the returning team after winning the national championship.
As an athlete or as a coach?
As a
coach. I was so nervous. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but I very well did. I had a lot of great help. Coach Kaylee was there with me. She cheered with me my first year at HPU. And both of us were kind of we were looking at the score sheets, we were looking at our routines, we were seeing our placements, and we were just, floored that we had placed so high, and we we knew what we needed to do going into day 2. So it's very nerve-wracking. It's your first year coach, and you're on the national stage, and people are, it's been a 10-year, gap since HPU competed at Daytona. So yeah, for us to place high day 1, we were just like ecstatic and thankful. And then day 2, we just went out there and put all of our hope and trust in them, that they knew what they were going to do, and they performed and they won.
Excellent. Well, it was a fantastic outcome, and now you've set the bar even higher, and even higher expectations to live up to each and every year now. So James, you've also seen these young women since they first came to HPU. Tell us a little bit about the growth and maturation that you've witnessed during your tenure coaching and working with them.
I mean, they've learned a lot from a lot of people. Obviously, they've learned a bit from me because I've been coaching them the most. But I mean, they've learned a lot from each other. I think is what's also super special. I feel like I learned a lot from my teammates when I was cheering here, and I feel like they've learned a lot from each other. But I mean, they're both leaders on the team. I could trust them with, I feel like, anything. So yeah, I think they've grown to be really great leaders. They're positive, encouraging. They're on time. They're organized. They pay attention. They help keep the team on track at practice. In ways when you first come into a program, perhaps you kind of sit back and you're more reserved. You kind of like watch things and see how things go. But I feel like they've really stepped up into it a bit quicker than most. So I'm really proud of how they've grown in the program.
Can you give us maybe a favorite memory or something that really stands out through your tenure together? Both Morgan and Kaylee?
I mean, obviously winning Daytona is like pretty fabulous. So like I won't not say that. But I mean, I know that Kaylee was on the team during COVID. That was like when I was just coming off of the team as well. So working with such a small group at the time, I think that was a pretty cool time to be able to work in those kind of like close quarters. And then Brennan, when she came on, I think that's when Ryan was coaching. Favorite memory with Brennan? I would say I really like one of my favorite memories was watching her speak to the students at Aliumanu Elementary when we've done the career day 2 or 3 years now. I can't remember how many, but hearing her talk and like seeing her be in her element in the classroom, because that's what she wants to do. I think that's probably one of my favorite moments, getting to see her in her element. So.
Very nice. Well, Morgan and Kaylee, I want to ask you the same question. So you two were around when James first took the reins as head coach in his first coaching role at the collegiate level. What growth and evolution have you seen in him as a coach? So maybe start there.
Well, Coach James has come to us with like a vast knowledge of cheer. That's like his area of expertise. He performed at the collegiate level and then came to coach us, and he started as our assistant, and it was really nice to just see him kind of take over and take a leadership role, and he's been great with like promoting a positive attitude to the program, and it's just been really great to be his athlete.
I actually knew James ever since 2019. We were on a Worlds team together at another all-star gym. I'm from the island. And when I first met him, I thought it was very inspiring in a sense, because I had never met anyone from the mainland with his talent before that had come onto the team and helped us get to Worlds. And he's actually the person that helped me get my double when I was learning it in the very beginning. It was pretty amazing. Having him in my life.
Tell our audience what a double is.
A double. So basically, it's where you flip, you rotate one time, but you twist twice. Yeah. So it's like a double twisting and like one rotation. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So same question. Can I ask each of you to give a favorite memory of Coach Burns through your time together?
Favorite memory. Favorite memory, I would say, of course, winning Daytona. And of another favorite memory was we were backstage, and they do this thing where coach hugs their athletes before they go on. And to me, being the last person to be hugged is like a very inspirational and touching moment, because it like shows they trust you and like they have faith in you, and like he already started to see me take a role in becoming a leader, and for me it was just really important.
So is that the ritual? You get the last hug as
Yes.
the team goes out? So,
yes, very much
you
so.
guys got
If
that worked
he's coming
out.
towards me, I'll like slowly move backwards to be the last one.
Wow, that's a great memory.
Well, like everyone else has said, my favorite memory would definitely be winning Daytona 2023. But in addition, I also like backstage with Coach James. And what stands out for me was last year when we went to Daytona, and he was super supportive in like our huddle, and he called us his emotional support sharks, and that really stood out to me because we're kind of a big family and we're all each other's emotional supports.
Very cool. Great story. Well, Coach Burns, what's one lesson that you hope your team takes away from you, both on and off the mat? So maybe words of wisdom.
I mean, I would say just, be persistent and, stay dedicated. When you truly love something and you put your time and effort into it, you can, be really fruitful with things. And be patient. I know that I've had to really lay a lot of things out looking at a program that I'm coming into, and, be patient with yourself mostly, but also, remember to be patient with others as well. So.
Very good. As they say, patience is a virtue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say, with an alumni at the helm who has a great success both in the sport as a coach and as an athlete, I know that I'm excited for the Shark season this spring. I also want to call out to our audience. If you have a question that you want to ask Coach Burns or Morgan or Kaylee, please send us a text. That number is 808-888-5481. Once again, 808-888-5481. 5481, and please include your name with that question. When we come back, we're going to get to know our cheerleaders a little bit better. We're going to hear how they became part of the HPU Ohana. But before we send it to commercial break, I'd like to give a big mahalo to one of our amazing sponsors, DSE Hawai'i. At DSE Hawai'i, formerly D. Suhiro Electric Inc., we are dedicated to consistently providing work in the most efficient manner possible. With over 3 decades of expertise in the electrical industry, DSE Hawai'i has worked tirelessly to ensure that their performance represents the company's mission of providing customer value. Once again, a big mahalo to DSE Hawai'i for supporting Sharks Weekly and HPU athletes throughout the year through your donations. And we're going to take it to commercial break, and we will be right back. You're listening to Sharks Weekly.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And welcome back to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. We are here with head coach of the cheer and stunt programs at HPU, James Burns, and 2 of the team's amazing student athletes, Morgan Brennan and Kaylee Tabangay. And remember, if you have any questions that you want to ask the coach or Morgan or Kaylee, please text them to 808-888-5481 and be sure to include your name. So now, before we go back into our discussion with our coach and student athletes, I want to bring in Greg Fishbach, HPU's Assistant Director of Strategic Communications, and he's going to give us a little look back at some things that have happened on campus. Greg, first of all, welcome back. Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year. Doing well. Thank you very much. Excited to be back.
Yeah, busy year as we get rolling.
It's been a busy year. It's definitely been a busy year.
And a busy year for Sharks sports so far, too.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, so what's been happening?
Well, the Sharks finished up their road trip this past week with Menlo on Thursday and Dominican on Saturday. The men's team finished the trip strong after a rough start, winning 83-72 over the Oaks and 83-77 over the Penguins. The women's team was not as fortunate, but did see a double-double performed by Alana Roberts at Menlo and an incredible second quarter that kept the Dominican game tight until the buzzer, led by Maya Hatchett and Jaylene Samuel offensively with 15 points each, and defensively by Alana Roberts and Lucia Ricci with a combined 12 rebounds. Wow. For the latest news from the Sharks, you can follow us on Instagram and X at HPU Sharks, or by visiting our website at hpusharks.com.
Excellent. Thanks
Wow.
for that look back. An exciting week of some good results and
stuff.
some results for improvement too.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm going to bring you into the conversation. You've been listening to
I know.
the conversation. I'm sure anything you want to ask.
I
our
wanted to
athletes?
ask about these rings. Look at these rings on. So
Man,
Coach has these
that's
2
some
rings.
bling. Those are like
Yeah,
Super Bowl rings.
I don't even know
Where's
how
the
you
rings?
keep your hand up because they're so big. So tell
Yeah.
us about these rings.
So this is a World's ring. It's this is when I was cheering at the University of Louisville. A lot of my team was on Gym Time. It's an all-star team. So that was the World Championship we won that year. This is the year that I was on the team, 2020, when we went to USA. I think there was 11 on that team that competed. It's a pretty small team, but made like a pretty big impact at the event. So it's pretty nice. And then this is the 2023
Wow.
ring. This
Look at
one's
the
got
size of that.
a bit more weight on it.
Wow.
Yeah, some weight. So yeah, super proud of these. They're pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Well crafted, and had some good designers help us put them together. So
Does the whole team get those rings, or is it just the coach mainly, or how does that work?
Everyone needs
Everybody
to
gets
wear
those
those
rings.
today.
So they have their
You
rings
got to
too?
hold those up to our live stream there.
Sorry.
But that is some serious bling. Those are like Super Bowl caliber rings.
Yeah.
I have to
They're
say.
kind of big. Yeah.
So do you wear them, all the time, or only for special occasions?
Mostly special occasions, like perhaps
today.
homecoming, or like
Okay.
when we go to compete somewhere, or exhibitions, or things like that.
That's right. Homecoming. I guess we'll bring that up later. But
Yeah,
that's
we'll talk
coming
about
up in
that.
February.
About a
Mhm.
month away
Yeah.
over the Valentine's
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
Well, let's get back to some questions. So, Kaylee, I want to bring you in again. You were a member of several successful competitive cheer squads here on the island before coming to HPU. Can you tell us a little more about your cheer history and why you decided to join the HPU cheer team?
Yeah, so I've been cheering ever since I was 9 years old. So after I graduate, it's going to be a total of I'm 24, so a total of 15 years. Very long time. I decided to join HPU just because I'm like an island girl. I love representing everything about the island and what it stands for, especially being part of a legacy is really important to me. James helped us, of course, bring it back alive. That first season we came back from Daytona. But before that, I was actually at the All-Star gym we were at. They used to practice there. So when I was I think a junior, when you guys went to USA, I was a junior, and their team was practicing for the competition before they left. And even though the team was very small, they were still like really talented, the competitive team. And it was something that, of course, I wanted to be a part of, especially knowing that they were actually starting back up again. So that's why I joined HPU.
Nice. So what was your impression of HPU before you came here? Had you known a lot about it?
I
or-
had known nothing about it. No,
Okay.
nothing at all.
Even
yeah.
as an island girl, huh?
Yeah, I'm an
Yeah.
island girl. I knew nothing about it, unfortunately.
We'll have to talk to the university's marketing department about that. You know how to get a hold of those guys, Greg? No. All right, so another question for you. So competitive cheer can be brutal on the body. It's an incredibly demanding sport physically. What's the worst injury you ever had to overcome? Did it affect your headspace, and how did you finally return to the sport?
It most definitely affected my headspace. It was actually a tumbling collision about 2 years ago, and I believe I had it. I believe it was a month before we were leaving for Daytona. Actually, it was pretty crazy. We were doing some changes to the routine, and we made sure that it was completely safe before attempting to tumble. And unfortunately, formations, when it actually came to the tumbling and adding the tumbling in, formations were just a little off, and me and my teammate had collided to where I was in the back of the floor and he was coming from the front of the floor. So his feet basically hit me in the back of the head mid flip and like straight into the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it harder to overcome something like that mentally? I know in gymnastics they call it, is it the twisties, or am I thinking, I remember,
I would say it's a bit of like, not to like just to jump in, but like a little bit of like spatial like anxiety, like tumbling like something behind you. Like I'm a person that I have to like give myself an
Always
over the shoulder
looking
look.
back,
Yeah,
yeah.
I always look behind me before I go. Working at a gym with kids and things like that, you never know. And then like especially on the college team, you're not gonna hit a kid, you're gonna hit another adult, and that's gonna hurt a lot worse probably for you. So you want to be careful. So I totally get it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely something that I had to overcome for sure coming into the new season, because just being so close to people, it was just really scary to deal with. But I got over it. It was fine, and here we are.
Are you like completely past it? So like it doesn't even enter your headspace anymore?
It does enter my headspace a very little bit. I just like kind of have an anxiety attack a little bit, and I'm like, okay, we have to go anyways, so might as well just go for it instead of having everyone go 20 times because I didn't go one time. So
got it.
So on this kind of topic, what is maybe the funniest accident that happened in mid-performance?
Mid-performance?
Maybe that's not like somebody got hurt.
Funniest thing, I tripped going onto the floor. I think we were running out, and I fully like tripped over the tape, and I was like stumbled real quick, and I had to like try to play it off as best as possible.
Okay. What about you?
I don't really know about myself, but I know sometimes. Oh no, this has happened to me. When catching cradles, sometimes you get really close to your other base's head, and sometimes there might be a little head bonk or something like that.
That's true.
Let's stay, Morgan. Another question for you, since you've got the mic. So you came here from a different background than your teammates. Everybody has their own story. You were a varsity cheerleader at St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Clark, New Jersey, where you did cheer competitively, and then you joined a college team. So for those who may not understand, can you describe how different it is going from being a high school athlete into the collegiate ranks?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you're a high school athlete, there's more like structure to it. So you go straight to school to practice. You're in the building all day. You don't even leave. And I definitely, as a college athlete, I've had to be more self-disciplined and show up to all my classes on time. Nobody's really holding me to that. I have to do that myself so that I can do the thing that I love, and I can get to cheer. And practices, you have to drive, you have to factor in traffic and all that. So that has really taught me like good time management skills and holding myself accountable and working extra and getting my teammates to go to like the beach and to stunt around and stuff like that. So it's more independent.
Time management is an interesting topic. That's one of the things that I've seen consistently, that students come and make the leap from a high school student into college, learning how to manage their time. We have so many student workers that come into our department, for example, and learning to keep things on your calendar and all. It's just it's fun to watch that progression happen with young people as they move into the structured adult world where you got to be at certain places at certain times and don't have a lot of latitude and all that. So it's a good life lesson. Morgan, another question for you. So as a base, you literally support your teammates. This can also involve people falling on top of you if a stunt is performed incorrectly. How do you keep your composure to ensure a clean stunt when perfection is the key to success?
So that is a part of cheerleading. People do fall on top of me, but I just try to keep a positive mindset, and that's going to happen when you're learning new skills, especially going into competition season when, we need to learn more elite stunts that, will help us score better on the score sheet. It's going to happen, but it's just important, like after they fall, you have to make sure you catch them because safety in cheerleading is super important. It's a human being up in the air. I would rather be the one to be on the ground than them. We want to make sure everyone's safe. But after that happens, you kind of just breathe through it. If, sometimes you get bopped in the nose or something, just take a deep breath and then just think about what you can do to make it better the next time.
Nice. Well, we're going to take another break, but before we do, I want to remind you that you can text in your questions to 808-888-5481, and please remember to include your name. When we come back, we'll talk to the team, find out what they stand for and what the impact they want to leave here at HPU. I'm also going to ask a fun question, which I'm going to save here and hit you with in a moment. But also, before we do send it to commercial break, I would like to thank another one of our amazing sponsors, a big mahalo to Pepsi Cola Bottling Company for their support of HPU Athletics. Pepsi, create more smiles with every sip. Once again, a big mahalo to Pepsi for your support of HPU Athletics. You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back on Sharks Weekly with HPU Cheer. Once again, we are joined by head coach James Burns and two of his student athletes, Morgan Brennan and Kaylee Tabangay. So I want to ask one more question before we take a look ahead at what's going on with Mr. Greg Fishbach. So cheer involves creating energy and just almost getting the crowd into a frenzy, right? Getting them on your side and really helping to create that energy that you're looking for a strong performance. Do each of you have something that you do to help, create that energy while you're out there?
Okay, so, for me, it's not really on the court. It's when we compete in Daytona. I do this thing where I don't think it was ever a thing for HPU. I think I just asked to do it one time, and I was playing around, and then he was like, wait, do that. I was like, okay, great.
Every time.
So in the beginning of a routine, when it comes to any performances that we do outside, like not games wise, if it's like an exhibition performance or if it's at comp, I always do like a really, really loud chihu in the very beginning. And it kind of does set the tone. It lets everyone know when we're starting, and like the intensity of it all is very consuming to watch for sure. Yeah.
Chihu. So for our listeners who don't know what a chihu is, first of all, I would say just hang around Waikiki at midnight.
You're right. Then you'll know at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
But what does that signify?
Basically, it just signifies strength, and I think strength and power, and not just for me as an individual in this case, but for my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Morgan, what about you?
I feel like mine is more at games. At games, I just try to come with like a big smile on my face, and call outs are really helpful. So like in between our cheers, just telling the crowd like yell with us, or to get them kind of involved in what we're doing. We have big signs, but sometimes they'll just be looking at us until we tell them to come join us and tell them that it's okay.
Very fun.
Before we get to the look ahead, how much is the crowd part of your performance? Like if the crowd is really excited, does that enhance the performance? Or if like you have a crowd that's just like not paying attention, is that difficult? Because it's kind of like really depends on each other, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Speaking from competing wise, that first year that we came back, it was very empowering because everyone wanted it for us to be back. They've been wanting it for a really long time. And like when we stepped off the bus, they were like, good luck HPU. Like, we're so happy you're back. Like, go get them, because we're supposedly the reigning champs, right? So it was our role. So when we stepped on the floor, the entire band shell was crowded to like the very core where everyone was standing up. No one, normally you have space to kind of sit down and like try to look at the stage, but everyone had to stand up. It was an amazing feeling to have. It like amped up the entire squad as a whole, and it was great. Yeah.
So that really does play a part, right? Like the
chilling, yes.
Like if you feel the energy, right? It like
oh my
makes
God, this is it.
like
yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, carrying that energy forward.
I think about that, right? Because like when you watch these sporting events, right, and the cheerleaders go out to this huge, excited crowd, right? It must feel like amazing to get out there in front of these people. They're so excited to see you. Yeah,
it's quite a high.
I know.
Greg, what is happening?
All right, look ahead.
Look ahead. Tell us what's happening here in the next week.
Okay, so this evening at the Shark Tank, your Sharks will be taking on the Vanguard Lions in basketball. This is their first game at home in the new year, so be sure to come out and show your support for your team. The first game tips off at 4:30. The teams will continue this home stretch as they take on Menlo on Saturday and Biola on Tuesday. And also Tuesday, the women's tennis team, tennis, will be taking on the Hornets of Sac State. So let's go, everybody, and especially tennis. And then homecoming, right?
Homecoming is not far off.
So homecoming is on Valentine's Day, February 14. Doors open at 3:30. For the women's game, that starts at 4:30, and then men's start at 6:30. We're playing Fresno Pacific. That should be good. That should be fun, right?
Yeah, that should be a fun game. And
we're going to have the cheerleaders there, so you're going to get to see everybody perform.
Yeah, and of course we've got the annual halftime, faculty
game,
staff basketball.
I'm sorry,
game.
I won't be able to play in that game, and a lot of people are asking me to play in that game. But, I will not be in town.
Yeah, I have to say the same. This will be my second straight year of missing that game, as I'm out of town as well.
You're out of town as well.
But my body thanks my travel spirit, because I'll emerge with no injuries again. So,
Oh, that's right. Did you get injured one year?
no, but I'm fearful that I'm going to tear my ACL at this
I
game
know, 'cause you
at
really-
some
yeah.
point. Because
Because we take it seriously out there.
well, we do.
I mean,
but
we
you know,
get out there and we really play.
yeah, and boy,
you know?
you step one as an athlete. You're not even as an athlete, as a human being. If you make one quick step the wrong way,
That's true.
especially later in life, man, that AC is just
That's true.
gone.
I try not to think about
So,
that.
all right, so I have one more year of an ability to walk normally. So, all right. Well, let's get back to some questions. I want to talk a bit about team identity and values. And, Coach, let's come back to you. So we've talked a bit about having the right mentality heading into competition. How do you, as the coach, help shape that? Are there routines you pursue, in practice to create confidence and consistency? What do you do when confidence has been shaken and maybe a fall has created a poor performance?
This kind of goes along with it, but I know like this year I've really stressed. I think I talked for perhaps 30 minutes one very early morning practice about it, and I remember seeing her face, Brennan's face specifically, because I had like gotten back to the point like 4, 5, or 6 times about doing everything with excellence. Making sure that you're doing like clean setups. They're laughing because I sat there and I was like, do everything with excellence, like do it with what they're like excellent. I'm like, okay, let's go. Just because we want to be clean, we want to make sure that we're using good technique. We want to be, but also like be motivated and have fun with things. But also remember that everything that you do, you can have fun, but you have to like take it seriously as well. So when it comes to like team identity, like I know like half the time throughout a season, like I won't really know my team until like they come back from their like Christmas break. Like, things get a bit more serious, and I know that's how it is with my all-star teams as well. My co-coach is there at Island Elite, where I coach a couple of younger teams. We have this idea, like the fall semester, like the fall season, we're getting to know each other, especially if you have new kids on your team. And then once it comes into the spring semester, things get a bit more serious. Your coach kind of like flips the switch. You see that it's time to compete. Like it's now time for business. You've gotten all of like the prerequisites and things that you need to learn beforehand. And now the excitement is still there, but you have to like, okay, like here we go. Like it's time to go. So when it comes to that, like creating confidence and consistency, I would say when they sometimes feel down or like, they're falling or they're not hitting something, I'm like, let's remember who we are. Like this is Hawai'i University. Like this is a legacy and you've been chosen to be part of it because you're talented. Just trying to like build them up, remind them who they are and how they got here and the successes that a lot of these seniors have experienced so far and like all of the great like stunts they've hit, like very impressive things I've seen from them. So I'm like, you guys have done way harder things than this. Like this shouldn't be tripping you up, things like that. So I think just reminding them how great they are, like is a good start. And then reminding them this year that excellence speech that I gave them, just to remind them like do everything with excellence and make yourselves proud and, go out there, look good.
It's a great philosophy to promote and one that creates that culture of excellence, no doubt. Morgan, I have a question for you. So to a general audience, bases can sometimes be overlooked. How do you overcome this challenge while helping to elevate your teammates?
Yes, it is certainly true that like when we do a stunt, all eyes are usually on the flyer. But it is the job of everyone underneath her to make her look good up there. We don't want to be moving around or anything like that so that she's kind of bobbling or anything like that. So I kind of just remember like it starts from what Coach James was talking about, like his excellence conversation. Like you want to be super clean with your set-ins and not move your feet and straighten your arms. So I kind of just know the importance of my job, and my teammates also know the importance of my job, and that kind of helps me make sure I'm doing everything great to make the flyer look good.
Fantastic. And Kaylee, so you are a graduate student. How do you want to set the tone for the younger cheerleaders that are coming up? What advice would you give them to be successful?
Sorry, excuse me. Set the tone. It's actually really inspiring because we actually have like these camps that we used to do where would have these clinics where high schoolers would come in and we would basically practice with them, and basically setting the tone from there when they meet us is where I try to start, starting with how like we lead stretches and how we carry the practice is very important. So they see that we can have fun and like talk to each other, but when it's time to hit the stunt and do things, it's time to like lock in. And then also it's like very important to have discipline, but also gain relationships with them as well. You don't want to ever seem like you're just an individual person. It's really important to me as an athlete to have a bond with my teammates, and make sure that they know that they can rely on me for anything. Yeah, that's one of the most important parts for me, for sure.
Fantastic.
I think it's one thing to like add to that is like, I'm like, you guys are like also part of this a little bit of a recruiting process. These could be your future teammates. So like we need to make them feel welcome, feel like, this is where they belong. So I think they do a pretty great job of that. And we've gotten some awesome athletes from that.
As we like to say in Hawaii, we're making them part of our ohana. Right? All right, we've got to take one more break here. But before we do, I want to remind you that there's still time to send in your questions. Just text your question to 808-888-5481, and please include your name. We will be happy to ask that question for you. Now, we'd like to extend one more big mahalo to another one of our Sharks Weekly generous sponsors, Volunteer Ally, because every volunteer needs an ally. Once again, mahalo to Volunteer Ally for supporting HPU Athletics. You are listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And welcome back. We are wrapping things up here today on Sharks Weekly with the HPU Cheer team, as we are joined by head coach James Burns and two of his cheerleaders, Morgan Brennan and Kaylee Tabangay. So at this time, I'd also like to give a shout out to our wonderful producer, Mr. Paul Breck, who has been keeping us on time, on topic, and on the air. Paul, what are your thoughts about today's conversation, and what's new with you?
I think it's been a lot of fun, just in general. It's always a good time whenever Cheer comes on to join. I don't know how you can't be cheery. I think it's been fun. I'm thankful that some people actually did just shoot us in a couple of text questions to close out our show as well, and one of them specifically for Kaylee, actually. And I will toss that out there and get the conversation back for you guys. So this one, Kaylee, how does it feel being your last year cheering, and what will you miss the most? XOXO cousin Serena.
Oh, hello, Serena. I'm very excited, but also very sad. It's been a long road ahead of us. I was with James when we were practicing at the Kaneohe baseball field to now having a full-on space of our very own by the Shark Tank. Oh my God, girl, you're gonna make me emotional.
It's okay to cry.
I'm very happy, very excited to that James gave me the role of captain this year. I'm really making sure that I do my very best as that role as well. Yeah, I'm excited for it, but also very sad because I don't want it to end. Yeah.
I think that's absolutely fair. And then I guess to get everybody on the conversation, this one a little cheerier. We won't make you cry the whole time. Friend of Sharky does text in asking, what's it like to cheer with Finn? And I guess I'll kind of build off of that. What is it like to kind of add in a mascot at times to your to being at home and leading the cheer? And do you guys add the mascot at all in competitions, or is it just you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's fun. When I cheered at Louisville, we had Louie on the floor with us, the bird. So when I was cheering here, we didn't have Sharky compete with us, but I've made sure Sharky competes with them, and I think they have a blast. He's at all of our practices. He's engaged. He does all the things that we do, and then we've got Finn now, so we'd like to add her to the routine. They actually just added a new rule where you can put two mascots on the floor now, as long as they're two different mascots. So we've got the perfect setup for that. So we're hoping to maybe add Finn.
Are they actually doing like stunts and things?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're not allowed to.
Wow.
They're kind of like moving around the floor, kind of like adding some little spice and pizzazz and excitement, some animation to the routine.
Are there any like famous mascots that actually do stunts like at a school like that? You say, wow, this is incredible.
So there is a mascot competition at NCAA Daytona College Nationals.
There is.
And they do different skits and things. There are some more, I guess, athletically built costumes, suits that they'll wear.
Right.
But I know one year in particular, I think it was 2023 when we went and watched. the last day of competition. Yeah, very entertaining. And some of them have these big wobbly suits, and then some are like a bit more fit. Weber State, they had their Bobcat was doing running fulls, like twisting skills, like with the head on, doing like breakdancing moves.
Incredible.
So depends on where you go and what your expectation is.
Right.
At
So
your school,
maybe Finn will be able to do that one day.
Maybe
Finn
we'll have him tear it up one day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I
Jeff's like, oh, okay. Let's.
no, I've seen some amazing things. I lived in Minnesota. I remember Crunch, the Timberwolves mascot, would have a little trampoline set up at the free throw line and launch from the free throw line and dunk, which I think is pretty amazing to do in a mascot
suit.
Some
of these mascots are incredible. What things they can do with the actual.
Big head.
Huge head. Yeah, I don't know how they keep
all
their
the
balance.
way back to the San Diego Chicken in the 70s, right?
Of course.
Who would forget the San Diego Chicken? You guys don't remember.
I don't know the San Diego Chicken.
Well, I think was there one other question about a dream participant, I think, that was being bantered about? Let me just ask the question. So if you guys could pick one celebrity for a day to be part of the team.
Like any celebrity.
Athlete, anybody that,
so
a famous
it could
notoriety.
be Oprah.
Could be
Oprah.
Well, that would be interesting to see.
All right.
Throw one out. Anybody come to mind?
Well, we agreed that Zendaya would be an amazing choice.
Zendaya.
She's a great performer. She's a dancer. So yeah, we think she would be really fun and fresh.
She's super silly. She'd be fun to have around. All
right. She'd be cracking jokes for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think we ought to put the invite out. And we'll do an exhibition and
totally.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Pink would be the natural
that would be fun
choice. She's doing all these crazy acrobatics, in her concerts and right.
Yep.
What do you think,
very
Coach?
Cool.
Would love to
Pink?
offer an honorary spot for both of you,
Okay.
Pink
All right.
and Zendaya.
So she's probably listening. Both are probably listening.
Okay.
So we'll probably hear something.
Okay, just send me an email.
We'll
try to get you on the roster.
Okay.
Email solicitations are going out tomorrow, guys. So just wait. All right, well, let's get back to a couple questions before we have to sign off. So, Coach, I want to ask you one more. So I know that you're always looking for new talent to join the team, but what could someone looking for a spot on the team do to get a shot at being on the team? What's the process? How do they get connected to you in the program?
Most everyone will come to a clinic, or they will complete our questionnaire through ARMS. It's in our bio on Instagram. Or I'll get emails directly, and then I'll just connect with them to see what their interest is and, what they want to do at the university in terms of their degree and, see if it's a good fit, perhaps do a Zoom call, or some folks just come and visit and maybe just see, like, the facilities. I'll come here and, meet with them at ATM at, our beautiful campus and just see what their interest is.
Do you have a lot of open spots next year? We're a lot of returning athletes. What's the situation look like?
I mean, I believe we'll have, I hope everyone would love to return. That's always the hope. But yeah, we'll have many spots open. I would love to make a larger roster always, so we've got spots open.
Okay.
So.
And another question. So when you think about your team's strengths and weaknesses, is there an area that you're focused on improving as you prepare for NCAA competition?
I think just like making things just like stick, like that, like piece of like that excellence lecture I gave for like 30 minutes, like making sure that everything, like we just, no matter what you do, difficulty wise, however impressive it is, you always want it to be clean. You always want it to be sharp. You always want it to be executed well, and I think that's super, super important. So I think they perhaps have seen I've been a little bit more of a stickler on cleanliness when it comes to like set outs and, when we get set for a stunt, like the things that we're looking for really are like, or that I'm hoping for this year, is that we just look like above and beyond a lot more clean than we have in the past. I think we did a really great job with our exhibition at the high school state exhibition, that we put on a really great show. So I'm hoping we just kind of like build off of that. So
very nice. So I have to ask the obligatory question that we ask all our guests here in the beautiful state of Hawaii on the wonderful island of Oahu. What's your favorite beach? So who wants to go first? Favorite beach and why?
I'll go first. So I'm from the island. I'm from the west part of it. So my favorite beach is Makaha. It's very homey. It's where like all of like the uncles are, and my brothers are always there bodyboarding because they're all bodyboarders, and it's just very family oriented for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful beach. Morgan, what about you?
Well, I'm really busy, so I usually just go to like Ala Moana. But my favorite beach when I do have time is Waimanalo. I forgot the name, but I go there. I go there when I do have free time. I just think it's really pretty to look at like the mountains, and it's so open.
Yeah, what beautiful beach, and you can't go wrong. There's beaches of every flavor and environment, and just a wonderful place to be if you love the beach lifestyle. So I hear the music, which means that we are running out of time on today's episode of Sharks Weekly, but I want to thank our amazing guests. The HPU Cheer team was our guest today, and we wish you guys success as you begin your competition, go through the remainder of the year here. Thanks so much for joining us today, and you were listening to Sharks Weekly, and we are live every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Until next time, this is Jeff Rich, your host. Have a fantastic week.